On Friday, November 14, 2014, Michael Walker started his night shift at 6 p.m. as an Army medic in the emergency room at Tripler Army Medical Center in Honolulu. After finishing work, at around 6 a.m., he came home to find a grisly scene. He found his wife Catherine dead in their bed. Walker called 911. But as the police soon found out, all was not as it seems. The FBI arrested Sergeant Michael Walker on Wednesday, November 4, 2015, after a federal grand jury indicted him for murder in the stabbing of his wife, Catherine. The investigation revealed that evening, in November 2014, was the culmination of a malicious plan, plotted out in various texts and email messages, between Michael Walker and Ailsa Jackson, who he met through an online dating site, back in September 2014, and told her he was married. They began their affair soon after that. Walker told Jackson he couldn't simply divorce his wife because of financial concerns, and he stood to receive $400,000 in life insurance.
"I want you so bad,"
was one text message from Walker to Jackson on October 12, 2014.
"If only someone was out of the way."
In text messages they referred to each other as Daddy Cakes and Baby Girl. In a November email, Jackson allegedly wrote about needing his permission to act.
"The anticipation is exhausting. The thrill is faltering. I'm growing impatient, tired and hungry for action."
Court records say that on November 14, 2014, Walker started on the night shift, which kept him at work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. An ideal time for Jackson to commit the crime, because his wife would be alone and he would have an alibi. On November 4th, Walker told Jackson in an email that,
"You have my permission. The sooner the better."
A week later, on November 11, Jackson went to Walker's house, intending to kill Catherine that night. But the doors were locked, and she couldn't get inside. The next day, November 12th, Walker texted Jackson,
"I need my desire taken care of soon. I'm going crazy."
"I know, Daddy Cakes."
Jackson replied.
"I was going to, but ran into a problem."
She told him, cryptically, that she ran into an access problem.
"Oh, I see."
He wrote back,
"I can help with that."
On November 14, Walker and Jackson met in the parking lot of the gym, on the military reservation, their usual meeting place. They agreed then that Jackson would kill Walker's wife that evening. They came up with a code. He would text her the night of the murder either good, meaning Jackson could use the window to break into the couple's house, or bad, meaning she would have to use the key to gain entry. Later that day, Walker texted bad. Just before midnight, Jackson entered the home with a key that was left for her near the back door, grabbed a knife from the kitchen, and stabbed Catherine multiple times in the upstairs bedroom where she slept. Jackson then waited at the house for an additional 30 minutes to make sure Catherine was dead. The next morning, as per their plan, Walker would come home and find his wife dead. No one would suspect he was involved, because he was at work, and it all looked like a burglary gone wrong. But as the investigation deepened, the truth would come out. Catherine's autopsy revealed that she was stabbed multiple times in the neck and torso with a knife. In 2016, a military court found Sergeant Michael Walker guilty of child pornography charges that became known during the murder investigation. In 2017, he was convicted of sexually abusing a child, physically assaulting a child, and wrongfully communicating a threat. The evidence in that case included 92 photos and 19 videos that were found on Walker's computer. He was reduced in rank from sergeant to private and dishonorably discharged. Elisa Jackson, 29, was indicted in April 2015. She was arrested in Indiana and extradited to Honolulu. In December 2015, she pleaded guilty to murder, but was spared a life sentence after agreeing with prosecutors to testify against Michael Walker, which involved explaining the coded messages she exchanged with him before the killing. Jackson said at the time of the killing, she was not taking medication for depression and psychosis because of a lapse in her health insurance. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Catherine Walker's father, Douglas Plotz, said his family supported a lower sentence. In February 2020, Michael Walker was sentenced to 35 years in prison for arranging for his mistress to kill his wife in 2014. Michael admitted to having multiple other affairs and called himself a sex addict, but pinned the blame for the stabbing on Jackson. After his sentencing, Walker apologized to his wife's family.
I love Kathy very much, and I would do anything if it could bring her back,
he said.
The sentences imposed in this case hold defendants Michael Walker and Elisa Jackson accountable for their truly horrific conduct, and bring to a close this tragedy. We hope that the judgment entered in this case will bring at least some closure to those most affected by these defendants' egregious conduct.
U.S. Attorney for the District of Hawaii Kenji M. Price